Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to Madden 18 on EA Sports. Two teams will need their quarterbacks to step up and lead their offenses on the gridiron today. It's Ryan's Falcons going up against Keenum's Vikings.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building. And just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Atlanta Falcons. First down, Keenum. Looking for his tight end Rudolph, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
Well, partner, that was not a good omen right there. The very first play from scrimmage, and you just want to give yourself a nice, simple throw and hopefully get yourself into a rhythm. That is the last thing you're expecting. And now you put your defense in a tough spot right from the word go.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman scampering home from 19 yards out. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Vikings coming out here again to take over on offense. And this is a crew, obviously, that was so close, Charles, to becoming the first ever team to play a Super Bowl in their own stadium. So disappointment in that last game against Philly. But overall, I think they've got to be pretty pleased with the season.
They have to be, because they put it all together. Won the NFC North. How about that win over the Saints in the divisional round? I mean, I don't know that they'll ever top that in terms of getting something done late in the game, especially with what was on the line. They do get Dalvin Cook back at running back next year. I think they'd still like to have a little more speed at wide receiver. But all in all, this team comes back pretty well intact and will be a force for a while.
Yeah, that defense is pretty set.
Very much so. I mean, try and move the ball against their front and then try and throw it against Xavier Rhodes. Good luck to you.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Play action. It's Keenum. Buying time to his left. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for third.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Being chased out left. A dump down to McKinnon. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be 4th down. Mike Zimmer's made his decision, and that decision is to try and go for this thing on 4th down. Running for it. Here's Cook. Dalvin Cook turned away on 4th down. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Falcons taking over on offense in just a second. And, you know, this year ended in disappointing fashion. Now, last year was the ultimate version of heartbreak. But if you're a Falcon fan, was this one was tough to swallow as well, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because let's be honest about it. Losing in the Super Bowl, I don't care how you lose, you were in the Super Bowl. You were playing for it all. This team was supposed to be as good or better. Ultimately ended up 10-6, found their way in the playoffs, but didn't get the deep run as they had the year before. So you're exactly right. For Falcons fans, that's a tough one. But this is a team that's built to be good for a long time.
And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he's brought down. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. And there they went crossing route against his own defense. What do you think of that?
It takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback.
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And it's up and good. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. I want to give a hat tip real quick, Charles, to J.J. Watt before the possession switches here. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year. They totaled up how much he helped raise for hurricane relief, $37 million.
Incredible. Hurricane Harvey, which really hit the Houston area in a big way, and his original goal was $200,000. So congratulations to J.J. Watt and all the people who participated. And Greg Olsen of the Panthers, Benjamin Watson of the Ravens, both tight ends, also nominated and finalists for the most prestigious award as determined by the NFL, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
Here we go now. 3-19. Off the play fake, Keenum. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. So the football switching hands here in just a second. And, you know, Tom Brady, just to go off on a tangent for a second, may have lost the Super Bowl, but third MVP this past season, and what he did at age 40, really something, right, Charles?
Absolutely phenomenal. Ended up beating out Todd Gurley, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. But he would have traded it for a Super Bowl win, don't you think? How about this? The last 9 NFL MVPs to play in the Super Bowl that same season, 0-9.
Yeah.
They go all the way back to Kurt Warner in, what, 1999, where he won the double?
We were going over that stat earlier. That is hard to believe.
But he would have been the MVP had the Patriots pulled that one out.
Yeah, he still has 5 rings, though. 5 Super Bowl titles for Brady. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now Ryan. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones from 3 yards out, and the Falcons will extend their lead.
The defense is doing their best, but they're struggling right now. They'll look for some help from their own offense to keep them in the game.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be re-signed, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. He's going to be coveted around the league by quarterback-needy teams. Case Keenum had a big year. Could he move? But how about running backs? Le'Veon Bell, Dion Lewis, some pass catchers, Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Let's go.
Now Keenum. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So on fourth down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. They're going to try and throw. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. Before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he'd had a sophomore slump the season before. Didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Was a dominant force in 2017. How about his teammate Aaron Donald on the defensive side? He took home Defensive Player of the Year.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Linval Joseph with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jones. A good pickup there at 22.
Well, sometimes it doesn't appear like much. The out route can be very dangerous when you throw it to a guy like Julio Jones. If you try and undercut it, he can turn into a big play. The reason he's able to get it so often is because of his ability to push people deep, and they have to respect that.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Second down, Ryan. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Taylor Gabriel, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
I know a lot of people look at these games and think, all right, this thing's done. Let's have some sportsmanship. Let's not try and score. You should never do that in the NFL. I've seen big leads blown, and teams that look like they had a victory, all of a sudden we're going home with a loss.
Fielded about a yard deep. Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back at the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles, the backup quarterback turned MVP?
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal.
And that's now the second time he's picked off a pass. Here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively, and you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
The Falcons averaged 34 points a game last year, tops in the NFL with that powerful offense, and they're already looking for more here as they've got it 1st and 10. After the reception. Here's Ryan. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Second down here after the incomplete pass. Throwing again. Ryan. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jones. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons add on. And he's able to put it through. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be hit with a lot of force and spun down. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. The tight end Blake Bell, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Now it's a bootleg with Bradford. And now he'll let this one go deep. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. 1:59 to go in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. Throwing now, Ryan on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Jones. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the first down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
Ryan. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. A great move in there, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Freeman again. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Ryan. On the screen, this is Coleman. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Austin Hooper, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Falcons continue to pour it on.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And out now come the Vikings. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down. Off the bootleg. Bradford now a hit, and the ball comes out. Bradford has lost it, and the Falcons grab it. And this is going to be brought back. It's a scoop. Score for the Falcon TD. Here's Bryant for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. Final play of the half, Bridgewater. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. A very interesting call and one that backfires. I know they're losing, Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators. They sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I'll guarantee he's...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Sharif Floyd getting in there from his defensive tackle spot to snow him under for a loss of 4. Now Ryan on second down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jones. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a game. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
On second down, here's Ryan. The left side completion to Jones. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, 29 yards, and the Falcons add on.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. He's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes, carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Bryant now to tack on the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion.
Let's go.
On second down, Bridgewater again. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Adrian Claiborne able to get him for a loss of about 3. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack, although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats.
No, he really can't, because you're not afforded total protection as a quarterback. You have to get outside of the tackle boxes as defined by the NFL.
Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, 68 yards. And the Vikings are able to get a score back. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Andre Roberts now to return it. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, because this was just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the road
true.
to be fairly clear
that is
by the
one
time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Freeman again, a first down carry. And he's got room. Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. And he'll take it into the end end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, 60 yards. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. Here's Bryant for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And now out comes Minnesota. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. Flush to his right. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. He's going to let it go. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, 28 yards. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Back now at beautiful new U.S. Bank Stadium. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. 3 yards to go on 2nd down. From the gun, Bridgewater. Trying for right, and it's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a... And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman, 26 yards. And the Falcons turn that interception into a touchdown. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Robert Alford. Facing this fourth quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock, they know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On second down, Freeman. 20. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, 49 yards. And the Falcons turn that interception into a touchdown. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And now out comes Minnesota. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it?
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Brooks Reed in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Bridgewater off the play fake to McKinnon. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Vic Beasley with a big-time sack on third down, and it'll be a loss of 7. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. It would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. So instead of the incredibly obvious choice of trying to punt it out near midfield, now they've left their defense with no margin for error.
No, zero. And I don't care how much confidence you have in your defense. I don't care if you say, hey, I'm going to be aggressive because those guys can pick me up. You really put them in an impossible situation because at the least, you're giving up 3 in that situation, right? So I would have punted the ball out of there and given them a little bit of a cushion.
From the 4, it's second and goal. Again, it'll be Freeman. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that is going to set up third and goal. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. On third and goal, Ryan. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones from 6 yards away. And the Falcons add on. Here's Ryan. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Let's go.
Off the play fake, Bridgewater. Now a desperation throw. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked off by Robert Alford. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
And did he get the football to break the play? No, he did not. They'll say he's out of bounds, shy of the goal line, and they'll be denied on the two-point conversion. And now out comes Minnesota. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Adrian Claiborne in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. Second down, Bridgewater. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Jarius Wright that time, and it's third down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And this is going to be incomplete.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have gets chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. And Quigley now on to punt as he sends this one away. Pulled in at the 24. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Adrian Claiborne able to disrupt yet another pass play. His third sack of the afternoon. Bridgewater now on second down. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Let's go.
On third down, Bridgewater rolling to his right. He's going to let it fly. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now fourth down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. And the 42-year-old veteran's kick is up and good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
As an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.